Hello walkers and welcome back to City Walks. I'm doing a new walk today and I'm going to tell you about that in just a minute, but first I want to tell you why. We were actually up here the day after American Thanksgiving and we came up and had met some friends, and we came up to get Christmas trees and had a nice fire, and I was looking at this mountain and it was cloudy and snowy, and the snow was in the rocks, and it was just astounding, and I had forgotten what a good view this is up here, and I decided I wanted to come back here and share it with you because also my wife, Traveling Mel, did a little loop walk that I'd forgotten about was in existence. We are we're up the Pine Creek drainage, and I've hiked the Pine Creek Falls Trail a couple times. I'm going to flip you around here. That's not how I do that. I'm going to do it this way. Okay, my name is Henry. I'll be your proxy walker today, your virtual travel guide, and your co-discoverer. I'm going to flip you around again here in a second. And on City Walks, I take you on these little walks, sometimes in cities, mostly in cities, sometimes on nature trails, and that's what we're going to do today. And I give you a little chit chat along the way. On nature trails, I try and talk a little less. It does take some effort. This is actually, we're starting out at the George Lake Trailhead, as you can see from the signage. It is the last day of hunting season, and I'm not wearing the brightest of colors today, so I feel a little foolish, but we're going to make some noise and let people know that we're walking and not antlered animals. I am wearing a blue hat, of course. It is 23 degrees this morning Fahrenheit. I think it's -5 Celsius. It's about 10:30 in the morning, very last days of November. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about this, and then we'll let oh, look at this. And then we'll just let the nature speak for itself, I think. And I'm going to be breathing a little heavily as we make our way up this incline. So here in the U.S., especially in the West, public lands, you can get a special permit to get a Christmas tree. I think for us to get it online was $5 for the permit and $2.50 for the processing fee. So very, very affordable. That said, there are some rules. You can't leave above a 6-inch stump. You can only take a tree from 1 to 12 feet tall. And you can only take a tree, I think it's 50 feet or something like that, away from the trail, away from roads and campgrounds and that sort of thing. And that's about it. You have to you're supposed to display your permit on the dashboard, which is kind of a hassle if you don't have a printer. All right, so George Lake is a pretty steep trail up to an alpine lake that I've never actually been to. Look at the light. But people ride their bikes up there because unlike the Pine Creek Trail, I think the Pine Creek goes into the wilderness area and George Lake does not. I love the contrast of the light and the snow and the brown of the shrubs here and the green of the trees. It's just lovely. Forgot to put my gloves on. And now I gotta do that with my teeth, so pardon me. There we go. You can see the frost down here. We had a dusting of snow on Friday when we were out here. And this little valley here doesn't see a whole lot of sunshine throughout the day in winter. And so the snow sticks around pretty well. Look at this little ravine down in here. It's pretty steep, isn't it? We're getting some views back in here. I'm going to try and adjust that. I've got a little polarizer adapter on here now. Pretty excited about. I also am carrying some bear spray, just in case I run into a bear. Another good reason to make a little bit of noise, human noise, just so you don't surprise them. They don't want anything to do with us for the most part, but sometimes we inadvertently get in their space and they don't like it. I don't really either, to be honest with you. I don't want to be in a bear space. Something's clicking. Oh, somebody with a dog. Or is that a deer? That's a deer tail wagging up ahead. Little, I believe, a white-tailed deer. That's what that is. I've got all these zipper pulls on this jacket. Sorry about the angle there. Oh. And the mic is so sensitive that it picks up the tapping of that or the tapping of the headphone wires against another wire. Look at this. So they had a fire up here quite a few years ago. It's a lot of the dead timber got burnt out. Then a lot of it has fallen over the years. That's a real thing to be aware of when you are in the woods. Wind-blown deadfall. Maybe it wasn't a whitetail. Maybe it was a dog. Here's some kids up ahead. Somebody's having a good time. Lights coming out. Hit that mountainside. Now this is what I should have on, is some blaze orange. Like some clearing out here. Yeah, here we go. A little sign. Caution, tree felling and equipment operation. Sorry about the spin there and here. Move forward. Hi there. How are you? That's all right. No worries. You guys out having a good day?
So good.
Nice.
Get off of him, please.
Take care. Well, that child's having a good time. Love it. Looks like they come in and maybe, it doesn't look like they took it for wood, but maybe they did. Probably just did some cleanup to avoid or to reduce the fire risk. All this deadfall is fuel, of course. I want to give a quick shout out to Photo Luke Hawaii. He does another walking channel from Hawaii, as you might have guessed. Anyway, he sent me a comment the other day. It really made me feel good. He was complimenting the walks we do here. And I get busy making the walks, doing other things, and I forget sometimes I get off of YouTube watching stuff, but I went back and watched a couple of his, and one of which is from Diamond Head, and it is stunning. Just beautiful, beautiful. So highly recommend you check out that. And then I also want to thank our Patreon supporters. I tried to do that at the beginning, but all the specialists, quote unquote, say you shouldn't do all that stuff at the beginning. But thank you guys. Really appreciate your support. You can of course find links to how to become a Patreon supporter down in the description, but certainly not required. Appreciate it though. Oh, and if you want to do it one time, there's Ko-Fi or Coffee, and then hope I'm going the right direction here. Here we go. And then PayPal. I think this is a split. I don't want to go all the way up to George Lake. Which I think is what happens if you make a right turn here. Oh, it's only, well, the trailhead is half mile that way behind us. Pine Creek Trail, that's where we want to go. Make our way over to number 47. Look at the light streaming down, hitting the mountains now. You can find other walks by walk time, so the length of the walk, and location on the website, citywalksvirtualtours.com. Oh, look at that. Oh man, isn't that beautiful? I love getting to share this with you guys. this button does. Boop. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not the best time to figure that out. What do we got here? Now, someone asked a couple weeks ago about whether I wear yak tracks. And the reason that comes to mind at the moment is because this is the trail, which is actually kind of fine, but a couple more weeks, another snow, and it could be a little sketch. But so yak tracks, the answer is yes, I do, when I remember them, or think to bring them. And yak tracks are these sort of rubberized, they're these rubber netting things that have metal coils on them, on the tread, and you put them over the bottom of your shoe, and they give you traction. You can get other versions with spikes or cleats, but they basically like snow tires for your shoes. And they work pretty well and can make the difference between a good hike and a stressful hike. So the battery on my DJI wireless receiver is about to go. Now this time I have remembered to record on the actual microphone, the wireless mic that has that ability, which is pretty cool. So hopefully when that goes, I'm going to unplug the receiver, and hopefully the mic will continue to record adequately. If not, we will have the phone microphone. It's not windy, so that should be okay. Get all this down timber. The lichen and the snow, beautiful colors. Love it. a steep little slope here, isn't it? There's not a lot of sounds in the forest this morning, which is interesting. I can start to hear the rushing water of Pine Creek ahead. I heard some birds earlier, but it's pretty still. It's nice. So I like to talk about the plants sometimes too, and I think we're into a lot of, I don't know what these deciduous are, but we're into a lot of Doug fir in here. And a little bit of spruce maybe. I think that's what we're seeing. Maybe some lodgepole. You can see some different bark on different trees. That's one way to tell. Almost looks like some hemlock, but that's not what that is. Not these trees, but in the background here with the really thin needles there. I'm not as good at plant identification as I probably should be to be trying to identify plants on a YouTube channel. I want to thank you guys for your feedback that you've been giving me upon request. I do read your comments. I do try to comment back to everybody. It's one of the best parts of doing these things, surprisingly to me. It's fun to hear your personal memories, your personal thoughts, your personal stories. Okay, hold on here. I'm going to take a break because my mic went out. And we are back. I do have to put my glove back on. Hopefully this is all recording the way it's supposed to. If not, we'll show you in the... If not, well, hopefully the phone's recording. A little shimmy in the balance there. Oh, that's why. So it needs to go. It should be better. There we go. When I took the receiver off, it changed the balance of the camera on this DJI, I think it's a Osmo 5 mobile gimbal. It's a handy dandy little deal. It's a generation or so back. The 6 is pretty cool too because it has a extendable selfie stick deal. But I've given that to my wife to use and I'm using the 5. Was I saying something? Oh yeah, about your comments. I love getting the comments, hearing your stories. And corrections, those are actually appreciated when they're put kindly intended. I have had a couple folks comment recently telling me that I should do things differently, which came across less than kind and more entitled. But you know what? It's fine. I typically, when I get those, I just recommend other channels they might like. Not worth the effort to get riled up about it, and honestly, they're so shockingly rare that it's a nice reminder of how wonderful the viewers of this channel are in terms of positivity and appreciation and, spirit of community. So I really value that too. All right, well, you're coming back. We're about to join up with look at that, with the Pine Creek Trail. Oh, look at that light. You can almost feel the warmth over there. We're going to make a big loop. I don't know if I said that. I don't think I did. So we're not going up to the falls. We're actually going to go back to where we started, but we're going to go a different way, as the term loop would imply, I guess. Pardon my sniffles. Oh, look at that. Okay, I just want to point one thing out. Like, this is kind of the type of tree you would get. You wouldn't be able to cut this because it's next to the trail, and it's pretty small. But we call them Charlie Brown Christmas trees because of the special from the 1960s or 70s. They're pretty sparse. They're not like a farmed Christmas tree, which are typically, they've been tended to and encouraged to have lots of branches and that sort of thing. And I think that's why you pay the extra money, which is great. But we like our little sparse ones. Senator Penelope Fluffy Pants, check her out on Instagram at senator.penelope, is our new kitten. And we actually are not going to decorate our tree this year because she is an agent of chaos and we love her dearly. But she's spent about 30 minutes this morning basically just attacking our Christmas tree, which is kind of what we expected. Fun to watch, but probably not worth putting on all the ornaments and that sort of thing. So we went the trail junction right there. Go up there, you hit Pine Creek Falls. If you keep going, you get another 4 miles or so past the falls. You will get to Pine Creek Lake. It's a pretty steep trail. Sorry about the swerving and whirving there. I try to give you a heads up before I do that, but I didn't. So where we end up in a few minutes here is we'll go down to the parking lot and we will walk back through the campground area and then a little bit of road, and then we'll head up the path to the parking lot where we started, and that should be about 15 or 20 minutes more, I'm guessing. Maybe more. We'll see. That's part of the fun. One of the first walks I did at Pine Creek along this trail, there's a lot of this stuff that had not been cleared out, a lot of this deadfall, and it was all good. It was fine, except for I was crossing. You had to go off the trail and around an obstacle, and I was stepping on logs, and whoop, feet went right out from under me. Quite a spill. I wasn't hurt or anything, just my ego. I'm not sure if I kept that in or not, but anyway, the trials and travails. can see, right, these ones without branches or anything on them are dead, and you can imagine the wind gets going and it looks like one over here, that tilty one, is just barely being held up by some branches of its neighbor. Here we go. So the wind gets going and that could tumble down, and as you can see from what's been cut to clear the trail, a lot of that stuff has already blown over the trail. So be aware. The hike to the falls is an extremely popular hike in the area, and you'll see from the parking lot that there's not a ton of parking. It's a pretty good parking lot for a trailhead, National Forest trailhead, but around here anyway. But it can get really busy, so highly recommend in the summers coming in the morning or in the evening. Also, I meant to mention, I don't know if I did or not, I am carrying bear spray because even though it's cold and winter, the bears aren't necessarily in their dens right now. It's not a matter of temperature or even light, it's a matter of food availability, from what I understand. And in hunting season, there's a lot of, I'm going to be a little graphic here, a lot of carcasses and gut piles and that sort of thing around that can give them some extra calories for the winter, so wouldn't surprise me at all if there were some wandering about. And it's best to be prepared. Love, love, love this view. Look at that mountain back there. I don't even know what that one's called. I don't know what any of these are called. Well, it looks like it's still a popular hike here, even in winter. Somebody's got their pups. Excited for a run. You can see kind of the map here and info about that stuff. You see what's available for parking. There's another little section across the way. It'll take 6 or 7 cars. I'm gonna keep spinning you here. And then there's this section here, which has pretty much room. So it's not small, but in the summer it gets busy, and it can fill up. We'll keep going along here because I want to go. Do I want to do that? Yeah, we'll go over to Pine Creek. I'll go over to the creek here. This is that other little parking section, so maybe more than 7. Somebody's excited to go. Okay, here's this. There's an informal path back here. That ice. It's downright pleasant. Pardon me. We're just following this trail along the creek. I'm not sure exactly where it goes, but I believe at one point it will lead back to the road or a day use area. Well, I just want to go back here real quick because I see something. It's probably just moss, but I want to check it out. Oh yeah, okay. The chunk up there had the vague shape of an owl. Oh well, you gotta check these things out if you're gonna be a co-discoverer, right? I think normally I would just take this trail and see where it ends up, but I think it's gonna end up at a church camp down there, and I don't want to go to the church camp, as cool as it is. Unbelievably pleasant in here. We're going to take this other little trail and see where it goes. Sorry for the noise. Just loops us back to our other little informal trail. So maybe we should have gone on that other one. Yeah, well, this is good. So I think what that thing leads back to, the other trail, would be down this way, which is, I believe, the day use area. And there's a pit toilet and some fire rings and tables down there. A little extra bit of parking that fills up in the summer. And not too far along, we have parking down here. So now that I'm looking at it, there's plenty of parking, but you could, I've seen it full, completely full. So just be aware. And this is actually a really cool place to come camp as well. This campground. You can see it's kind of in this valley, in this canyon at the head of it, and lots of trees and lots of shade. The creek's right there. I think there's another little nature path you can take. And there's some more pit toilets and stuff down here at the actual camping area, which we'll see in a little bit. I think that's a spruce, isn't it? I think it is. Those are not. I'm also going to show you this pavilion up here on the right. Little, I don't know if that's a utility path or a cut through or what. Looks like a four-wheeler track, ATV track. I believe these roads up here are non-motorized, these trails, sorry. The reason I want to show you this pavilion is it's pretty cool architecturally. And you can rent it or reserve it. I think there's probably a fee associated with it from the Forest Service. And it's got some remnants, I believe these are remnants of an older pavilion. And then they've, the architecture students from MSU, which has a pretty good architecture program from what I understand, built this sort of structure over here and built up this stuff. I mean, this is probably 15 years ago. See, that bench has seen a little bit of abuse, but it's got a picnic table, it's got a fire pit, it's got a grill, it's got several picnic tables, all kind of a modernist design, which I like. I'm going to give you another view along here. Kind of got that cantilevered, asymmetrical roof design. Well, it's artistic, it's cool. It's not something you normally see in a national forest or government entity, public lands entity. I should phrase that differently. Because these are public lands, they belong to all of us. Ooh, rehash of one of my perambulation pontifications. Public lands belong to every citizen of the United States. U.S. public lands, I should specify. We hold them together, and they are managed by government agencies for the public in not just recreation, but also for financial reasons, for instance, mining and timber operations, but ultimately for the public good. And I think that is fantastic, and we have a ton of it around where we live, and it really does add to quality of life, ability to recreate, and get outside in nature. Huge, huge benefit. And I'm going to show you something kind of cool here. A little nest somebody built in previous years, raised a family. Of course, this would all be sheltered by leaves in the summer and spring. So a little safe spot, probably, hopefully, they were hoping. Oh my gosh, you guys, look at the light. Oh, So nice. I'm going to adjust the polarizer here, see if I can. Maybe? I don't know. I can't really tell if it's making a difference or not. And this is kind of off to the right here. You've got some campsites. There's a pit toilet back in there. And of course, we got a pit toilet by the road here. And some more campsites off to the left. Oh my gosh, you guys. Seriously. I can't even. Oh, love it. Oh, that's interesting. There's a satellite dish over there. I think that must be where maybe where the host stays, somewhere around here. Campground host. And maybe maybe it's a weather station. You can see some, looks like 27 campsites up here. Closed for the season. So looking this way, is heading east pretty much, and very vaguely, and it goes down into Paradise Valley. Oh, this is why you come visit Montana. Am I right? Walks like this, and there's a ton of them. I will say that, and I don't know if I've said this before, there's a big difference between visiting a place and living in a place. One, I've spoken numerous times about the cost of housing out here. It's a significant issue in terms of, especially over in Bozeman and Missoula, where people just can't afford to live. And they're living in RVs on the streets, if they're lucky. And, it's just ridiculous. Second of all is the weather. It's nice to come out here and experience this for a week. It is a whole different ball game when you are in month 6 of snowstorms and 30-mile-an-hour winds and clouds and darkness and all that stuff. So you definitely need to consider that, because you're going to get it if you move out here. You hear that? Oh, come on, Mr. Squirrel. Anyway, there was an angry squirrel chirring at us, at me. You can see this section of the road is paved, and it is paved, I think, all the way back down to East River Road. That said, it also gets covered in snow in the winter, and people do come up to ice climb on the falls. But it can be a tricky wicket to get back in here. Came up one time and there was a big tree across the road. Had to back up quite a ways in the snow. So I mentioned a church camp, and I don't know exactly where it starts, probably just past this gate up here on the road. Down in there is, I think it's a Methodist church, has a camp. It's been there forever, not forever, but for decades and decades and decades. And one year they had a bluegrass festival in there, and it was fantastic. It was just the perfect venue. Unfortunately, I think the festival lost a significant amount of money, and they never did it again. But man, was it cool. It was a fun day. Yeah, Luckett Park Church Camp. So we're going to keep on going up here to the road that goes up to the parking lot. We'll go up to the parking lot and get some more of those epic views with, looks like some brighter light than we had earlier. So we'll check that out as well. Look at all these little pine trees trying to make a go of it. I guess these are willow trees. I don't think they're aspen. Pretty sure they're not. That one might be. And you got this big guy over here, big gal. There's something fun about seeing these big, mature beasts of trees, even though I know out in the Pacific Northwest these would be tiny compared to some of the big spruce out there and the redwoods and the hemlocks they have, but it's fun to see the granddaddies, grandmamas. So I'm going to give you an idea of what this little section is like, and if we had had snow, this can get super icy, and it's kind of a luge course down to the paved section, and then you've got all these bumps and rivets. That's not the right word. Divots. Oh my gosh, look at this view. This is a Sunday. Last night we went up in Livingston. They had the Light Up Livingston thing where Santa comes in and they have carols and hot cocoa and raffle and crafts and stuff. And they light up all the lights in one of the parks. It's pretty cool. I think hopefully I'll do it today. I took some footage and I'll make a little Instagram reel or something. Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh, just beautiful. Just epic. There's a magpie flying across. Oh my gosh. Even this grass contrasting with the snow is nice. Get a little sparkle off the frost. So I mentioned a fire. We had a fire up here, a couple of them actually, and we brought these solo stoves because we just love the lack of smoke. And So it doesn't leave a mark. There's a mark of somebody's fire, but not ours, over there. Yeah, there's over here. And it doesn't leave a mark, doesn't leave a bunch of charred ash or anything, and it doesn't have much smoke, so they're really nice. And while I wish I was sponsored by them, I'm not. Look at that, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming out with me on this walk. Oh, so beautiful. This is a recommendation of Traveling Mel. I think I mentioned that at the beginning. So thanks to her too. Good choice. All right, we will see you guys again soon. Not sure from whence we will be filming or walking, but until then, as always, keep on stepping.